It is time. My wife is here. Let me give you a kiss. Mwah. I love you, Changli. You know what we're here to do. We're break down our kit. Super simple, as quickly as possible. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of words here. It is in classic Kuro fashion. It is very wordy, but I promise you it's not that deep, and I'm going to show you. So pretty much the TLDR, real quick, is she scales off of attack. There's no other numbers here, so you know she scales off of attack. She does get crit rate for the nodes, as well as extra attack. And so, pretty much starting off with the basics. The thing with Changli is she uses something called True Sight. And there's going to be a little modifier that pops up above your Forte circuit that you'll see what True Sight is. And pretty much True Sight is how you stack your Forte circuit. And you want to have as many stacks of your Forte circuit. You can only have up to 4. So I should say you should have the max stacks. Once you hit 4, you cast your Forte circuit by holding down and then big PP damage numbers. But you also want to do her burst before you do that because her burst gives you a max Forte. So that's the quick TLDR. Let's break this down simply though. Perform up to 4 consecutive attacks, dealing fusion damage. After releasing basic 4, enter True Sight lasting 12 seconds. And then mid-air attack, same thing. Enter True Sight lasting 12 seconds. Heavy attack, hold basic attack on the ground. And then after that, hold basic attack on the ground. Perform an upward strike at the cost of stamina, dealing fusion within a certain amount of time. Mid-air attack 3. And then, mid-air attack 3. Nothing really crazy there. The resonance skill is where it gets pretty interesting. And again, keep in mind, she 100% uses resonance skill damage for everything. So when we get into the echoes, I'm going to tell you over and over again, resonance skill damage. But, so it says, after releasing Resonant Skill, Changli dashes towards the enemy and enters True Sight, which is that mode that you do from the normal attacks as well, lasting for 12 seconds. In the end, she releases a plunging attack, dealing fusion damage. True Sight Capture, this is the actual skill itself, has 2 initial attempts and can be used up to 2 times. The number of attempts increases once every 12 seconds, can be cast midair. So you have 2 stacks of your Resonant Skill. You really want to try to use both of them because that is going to give you True Sight faster. You can do 2 Resonant Skills, get 2 stacks of True Sight, then do 2 combos, and, get 2 stacks of True Sight, so you get 4. When in True Sight, if Changli uses ground basic attack, she releases True Sight Conquest, dashing towards the enemy and dealing fusion damage, considered as resident skill damage. After releasing True Sight Conquest, True Sight ends. And basic attack, when True Sight, if Changli jumps or uses basic attack midair, she releases a True Sight charge, dashing towards the enemy and dealing fusion damage, considered as resident skill damage. So, all resident skill stuff there. Forte circuit's very simple. When releasing heavy attack, when she has the max stacks of Inflamement, that's the actual Forte circuit name, she consumes all the stack of Inflamement to cast Flaming Sacrifice, big AoE damage, dealing fusion damage considered as resonant skill damage. When casting Flaming Sacrifice, Changli takes less than 40% damage, so she has a little bit of defense reduction there, which is nice. And in Inflamement, she could hold up to 4. You get each stack by either doing True Sight Conquest or True Sight Charge, which is again just these normals, nothing too crazy there. Or when you cast the Resonance Liberation, you then get a full True Sight stack. I'll go to the nodes in a moment just so you can see the Res Lib here is deal fusion damage to nearby targets, 4 stacks of Inflamement, you get that. When Changli releases heavy attack, Flaming Sacrifice within 10 seconds, her attack is increased by 25%, after which Fiery Feather ends. So the reason why you want to do her burst first in her rotation is due to the fact that you are going to get that damage buff and you're going to get your resonance skill fully maxed, your Forte circuit fully maxed, so that way you can go in and just kind of get as much damage as possible. Forte circuit nodes are pretty dope. When Changli releases basic attack, True Sight Conquest, or attack charge for each stack of Inflamement, Changli's fusion damage bonus is increased by 5%. And when Changli releases heavy attack, Flaming Sacrifice, or Resonant Skill Liberation, Changli's fusion damage increased by 20%. And Changli ignores 15% of the target's defense dealing damage. So she gives herself defense shred, which is very nice. So I'm going to bring it to a trial real quick. I'm going to show you a few key things to look out for. We're going to go over the weapons. I'm going to bring up my little notepad that I do that people tell me I have really bad handwriting on. Yamada. This is quickly what they're showing here. I can move my head real quick if you want to, pause the video for a moment or two and read this. But I think you'll see in a moment she's pretty simple. So I haven't even started yet. I'm going to just do the E. And so right here, this is the True Sight. This little thing. So while that's, if you notice, I didn't get the Forte stack yet. I have to hit something to get the Forte stack. Now, there's no enemies here, so I didn't get it, right? So, but if we would go here, and actually, I just want to show you 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm in True Sight. I have 12 seconds to do my 5th attack. That's a true sight attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 12 seconds. Bam, that's a true sight attack. So when you have that little red dial above the Forte circuit, keep that in mind. That is when you get your Forte. So we're going to go here. I'm going to do the skill. I have true sight. That's 1 stack. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to do the flying thingy because that's dope. That's 1 stack. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, I can't count, as you can see, and I'm going to just skill. And that's the 4th one, right? So now you hold the Forte circuit, you do that damage, bam. And that is her kit. Now we're going to get the Resonance Liberation up. I don't know, is this going to kill? I think there's another wave of enemies here, bam, okay. So we do this. This is a nuke, big PP damage numbers, but now I have max stacks, and then I hold my Forte again, and bam. Everyone is dead, but it's pretty simple. It's a pretty easy play style, and obviously you can cast stuff in air. You can cast that mid-air, and then, you know, still get that stack. So I jump, and then I jump again. That would have got me a stack if I was fighting enemies. So very straightforward and really cool. Now, she is not going to deal the damage of Jinsei. That's just what it is, but that doesn't mean she's not a great unit, and she's a very versatile unit. It's very similar to Yinlin because she can fit multiple roles. So before we go into the roles, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's go over the echoes while this loads. You're going to want Inferno Rider, Skullboy, whatever that dude's name is. Let's see, where is it? You're going to want this homie. So obviously you want the fusion set, Molten Rift. You want Inferno Rider, so I'm going to move my head over. Obviously fusion damage plus, and upon using Resident Skill, fusion damage increases. Transform Inferno Rider to perform consecutive strikes, dealing fusion damage. Increase the current character's fusion damage and basic attack damage. Long press skill for riding. We don't need the riding mode, right? But what do you want here? It depends on your weapon. If you have Genesis, you know, if you have Emerald, you could go crit damage. Me, personally, I really like to go crit rate main stat echoes due to the fact that, again, there really is only so much crit rate you can get, and since you only start at 5, and the ecosystem is really unforgiving, I like crit rate. But crit rate, crit damage, whichever is better for you. Resonant skill damage. Resonant skill damage. And yeah, just resonant skill, crit rate, crit damage. She does need energy. Energy regen is going to be valid. For the 3 cost echoes, I truly believe double fusion is the way to go. Simply due to the fact that she has so much involved with the fusion damage that it's really just a wave. Double fusion is what you should be looking at. You could go and attack because she technically does scale in attack. Or let's say you could go energy regen if you're really having problems. But I really recommend double fusion. Again, same stuff. Crit rate, crit damage, resonant scale, energy regen as the substats. And then obviously for the 1 cost, you want an attack with the same things. Now you could go Moonlit if you are running her as a sub DPS. We'll get to options of what she could do as a sub in a little bit. But if you are going Moonlit, then obviously you are going to want the Heron. And still crit rate, crit damage. Fusion damage still on these if you can get that. And then, yeah, like that doesn't change. So the echo set you run her is 110% completely dependent on how you want to play her. And then also Emerald of Genesis. Commando is very good. Commando of Conviction, or her actual banner weapon. Obviously, that is going to be her best in slot. If we look at this right here, is it going to show it to me? How do we see this? Shot, how do we see that? No, I don't think so. Is that it? No, that's the pity. God, I'm such a boomer. Hold on. Bam, there we go. Got it. Stupid. It gives crit damage, which is nice. Attack increased by 12%. The equipper gains 1 stack of Searing Feather upon dealing damage, which can be triggered every 0.5 seconds. It gains 5 stacks of the same effect upon casting Resonant Skill. Each stack of Searing Feather gives 4% additional Resonant Skill damage. Bonus for up to 14 stacks, which is crazy damage. After reaching max stacks, all stacks will be removed within 12 seconds. Pretty much, she's getting crit damage on top of an ungodly amount of Resonant Skill damage, which is what she goes off of. Resonant Skill damage. Keep that in mind. So, definitely Res Skill is going to be the way to go. Now, the reason I did skip over her outro skill, and we're going to discuss the outro skill now. So, actually, let me just pull it back up so you could physically see it while I gap a little bit. Her outro skill is going to buff fusion damage. So, if you go over here, right, and we'll touch on Constellations at the end. but her outro skill is going to be the incoming resonator has their fusion damage amplified by 20% and the resonance liberation damage amplified by 25% for 10 seconds. This is where a lot of people, including myself, are saying that she can fit into the sub DPS category. You could play her however you want, right? But she is going to be a good quick swap sub DPS. Her rotations are really not that long, and it's not that time consuming. Where it's not the end of the world if you want to run her on a moonlit set. Don't let everyone tell you that she can't be a sub. She could be whatever you want. She could be a main and she could be a quick swap. So whatever you prefer, but keep in mind that you will get some pretty sizable buffs out of this, especially if you're running her as a quick swap with someone like Encore or the homegirl I don't like, Chixia. And then the intro is pretty basic. Changli appears mid-air, attacks the targets and true sight lasting for 12 seconds, so you get pretty much one stack of your Forte circuit off rip for free. Now, team comps. If you are running her as a main DPS, then you would want to go Yinlin and obviously Verena Baiji. I mean, you really can't go wrong with this. You could also go like something like Sanhua due to the fact that her Concierto energy is absolutely insane with the swapping back and forth. You could go Mort for the coordinated attack, but you're really not going to get much out of the outro skill with her, and his outro skill increases heavy attack damage, so there's not that much synergy there. But if you did want to do some sort of kind of like coordinated attack team, you could do that. The way I am probably... Oh, also Tauchi. Tauchi is amazing due to the fact that her outro skill, besides the Boba, has their resonant skill damage amplified by 38%. So if you're using her as a main DPS, don't be afraid to use Tauchi. Tauchi is not fun for me. I don't like her rotations. I don't like her style, but I will tell you that she has absolutely changed the game for Changli and Jinxie. So keep that in mind. This is not a bad unit. Don't sleep on Tauchi. Now, what I'm going to personally be doing, what I think a lot of people should be looking at, is Changli Encore with a support, or if you want to go Changli Chixia support. Changli Encore personally is what I'm going to run, because you can do whatever you have to do on field with her, swap into Encore, get all of Encore stuff off. And then once you do your Forte circuit with Encore, she's kind of summoning the little puppet from the sky, about to kill someone. You then swap back to Changli, and you are doing a consistent quick swap to the point where there is no downtime, and you're constantly going back and forth. I'm not going to say it's high effort. I don't think it's high effort, but I do think you have to have a decent amount of meter management, a decent amount of Forte management, and kind of figuring out what is going on. And if you go with Chixia, Chixia, I believe, will get the benefit of the Resonance Liberation buff due to the fact that her Resonance Liberation is actually Resonance Liberation damage. So she could be a support for Chixia, but I mean, who's playing Chixia? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the Chixia mains, all three of you. I apologize. But yeah, that is Changli, man. She's really solid. And then the Constellations, I'm the type of person where I don't think Constellations are worth it in this game. I think the characters are already pretty much overpowered already. But let's talk about them. So resonance skill and heavy attack increase damage by 10% and resistance to an interruption. Pretty dope. So she gets interruption resistance and does more damage. Number 2 is increases Changli's crit rate by 25% for 8 seconds. So that is insane. You don't have to worry about crit rate as much with that. 3, Resonance Liberation Radiance of Fealty damage increased by 80% is so stupid because she already nukes you, so that's actually insane. 4 is after intro skill is cast, all team members' attack increased by 20%. This is really just, again, pushing her to a different level, right? 5, heavy attack, flaming sacrifice multipliers increased by 50 and the damage increased by 50. And then 6, resonance skill, triapid flames, heavy attack flames, and resonance ignore an additional 40% of the target's defense when dealing damage. So she gets the defense shred from her base kit, and then if you go C6, she's going to get even more defense shred. Pretty much it is defense shred galore. She is insane. Again, I don't think those are worth it. I think at that point, you honestly might as well just spend on the weapon banner to get her actual weapon to make her damage even more, because it is going to be better than Commando and Genesis. Or you get different characters, right? So that is really it, man. There's really nothing too complicated here. Y'all know the vibes. I didn't forget. So we're going to go here. Pretty much the way it works is, here, we'll use this. You want to have 4 normal attacks. I want to make sure my head's not bogging it. 4 normal attacks, or 4, we'll put MA, mid-air normal attacks, equals 1 Forte. 1 Forte gauge. It's called True Sight. So we'll put a TS. That's the Forte, right? So you want to get 4 True Sight as soon as possible. You hold attack, So hold attack. I don't know why I didn't just do CA. Charge attack. And then after that, you do that animation, and you get more damage. The general rotation is obviously intro, res skill. You have 2 of these. You're going to get 2 stacks from here, so you will get 2, what is this called? True Sights, Jesus Christ, 2 2S. You will then after that get your other 2 TS from your normals, normal attacks, / midair attacks, whatever way you want. Hold for your forte. And then once you get to Resonance Liberation, and then you hold. It's pretty simple. It's really nothing too crazy. At the end of the day, it simply boils down to her True Sight mechanic and how fast you can get her forte up. How fast you can get her forte up. Whatever way you want to do it. If you want to do it without the skills, if you just want to do in-air attacks, whatever you want. But this is how I see it going. Intro, you're actually, I believe you're going to get 1 stack regardless with the intro skill. So you really only probably have to do 1 rotation of these. You might not even have to do 2 full normal attack rotations. But yeah, that's Changli, man. Very solid, very good. And I think we really covered the bases. We covered the echoes, we covered the teams, we covered her gameplay style, and pretty much, yeah, we will be doing more in-depth testing with her when she's obviously out on all the servers. But that's her, man. I showed you everything. Let me know if you think I missed anything. And that's the video, bro. Honestly, I'm rolling. I'm a whale. And shout out to my boy for letting me on the account early. I appreciate you. Mwah. I'll see y'all in the next one. Yo.